What the fuck, Game of Thrones? What the fuck? Hi guys, welcome to Nerd Bites, and I'm going to give you my review on the final episode of Season 5 of Game of Thrones. Seriously guys, what the fuck? Seriously, did not see this coming. You know what I'm talking about. I will get to it later on, but first let's go through a couple of bits that will happen during the episode. Basically, Stannis, his missus, hung herself in grief. Melisandre bolted, and then he went to Winterfell to fight with what he had left of his army. And as soon as he saw that the Boltons were coming out from Winterfell with loads of horseback, 3 times as much as what he had, he didn't run away. He drew his sword and basically went, let's do this. And they go into the fight, they surround him, and then you don't see the rest of the fight. I was disappointed that you don't see the rest of the fight, but then you literally see Stannis struggling at the end in the outskirts of the woods, kills a couple of extra blokes, and then he falls down, leans against a tree, quite badly injured, and then Brienne of Tarth arrives. Now obviously she's wanted to kill him for a while, because obviously he's resulted in that it's basically his fault that Renly's dead, so she explains that all to him and everything, and reads him his rights, and he basically says, just do your duty. She swings at the sword to kill him, and then it cuts off. I don't know whether he's dead. We assume he's dead. We don't see him again for the rest of the episode. He could be dead, he might not. But I've always gone with the rule, until you see their head on a spike or they've burnt their body, I don't think they're dead. Cersei confesses. She confesses to sleeping with her cousin, I think it was, or nephew, I can't remember. She confesses, and then she's sat naked on a stool, her hair's cut, her body's washed, and then she's taken to trial, as it were. In the middle of the fight of Winterfell, Sansa gets away. She's cornered by the horde that's laying with Ramsay, arrows pointing to her, Reek standing next to her, and at the last second Reek saves her, knocks the girl over, she falls down and hits her head to her death, and then the two of them run away and basically jump over the wall and land, as far as I know, they land into snow, and that'll be it. That's the last we see of them, but it's good that Reek finally did what we all wanted him to do, which was save the day, save Sansa, and now they've both ran off together, so I'm looking forward to the next season to see how that goes. Dany hasn't come back. She's still off with Drogon. The guys are just standing around deciding what to do. 2 of them decide to go off and find her. Tyrion stays back with Grey Worm and what's her face, can't remember her name. Then we get Varys. He's back. He comes back, he's found Tyrion, they have their monologue and everything, and they are now going to kind of take charge while Dany's away, basically. Jaime and Bronn leave with Myrcella and her new love interest. They wave goodbye. The leader of the Vipers, I can't remember her name, but she kisses Myrcella, and I didn't really think much of it. But then when Myrcella's on the boat with Jaime, she obviously explains to him that she knows about her mum and Jaime, she knows that he's her dad, and they have a nice little embrace. Then she starts bleeding out the nose, and you realise she's kissed him and poisoned her. And that's all we see, the boat's going off, and we never actually see her die again, we don't see her die. And then What's-Her-Face takes the potion and she's saved, and that's fine. So Myrcella could be dead, she could be alive, but the last thing we saw is her bleeding out the nose. Arya, she does exactly what I predicted she would do. She pretended to be one of the young whores. Marantrand's busy whipping them, which I thought was a bit graphic for these young girls. Then 2 of them leave because the other one's not taking it. They're kind of in pain like he wants them to. Then it's obviously, she jumps, stabs him, pulls off her face and realises it's Arya. Arya stabs him in the eyes, stabs him a couple more times. She monologues basically saying, I am Arya Stark, do you remember Syrio? Because you killed him, and who are you? You're no one. And then she slits his throat, and that's him dead. I was like, well done Arya, that was awesome. Then she got back to the House of Black and White, and he's not happy. Basically saying, you shouldn't have killed him, it wasn't your kill, it wasn't his time to die, and you can only pay for death with death. He kills himself, and she's screaming no, 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 and then he appears from behind, and he's basically teaching her a lesson, and she pulls all these faces off again and again until it gets to hers. And then, with some kind of magic that he's doing, he makes her go blind. Screaming in agony, she goes blind, she doesn't know what's going on, and that's the last we see of it. I'm in a little bit of shock because I don't know what's going to happen with that. Again, her senses might be heightened now she's blind, but God, it was quite tense. Back to Cersei. She is then shamed. She has to walk down through King's Landing, basically, towards the Red Keep, completely naked, while everybody screams and throws stuff at her. It was weird because it was quite upsetting, because I don't like this character, but even all this stuff that was happening to her, as it was happening, still quite upsetting. She walks all the way through it. Every now and then she's looking up at the Red Keep, and that's basically like, I'm getting to Tomlin, I have to get to him. And that was nice where they did that, because it's the only thing she makes her persevere to the end of this. The woman's behind going, shame, with the bell, and it gets really quite bad. She stands on glass, she gets bloody, gets stuff thrown at her, and she finally reaches the end. She's brought inside the keep, she speaks to some of her stewards and everything, and then the mountain comes down. In control as part of the King's Guard now. You can see his eyes are all bloodshot. He picks her up and carries her off. And that's the last we see of her. Obviously that basically means she's back in power, and next season it's going to be all hell breaking loose, I think, because she is going to want to get revenge. Finally, we get to the final 2-3 minutes of this episode. And it is something I did not expect to happen. I really did not expect it to happen. We've got Jon Snow looking through some notes. Then you have Ollie run up to him and say, there's one of the Wildlings come back, they think they know where your uncle is, and he says, are you sure? And he runs after him, and he finds Alistair down in the courtyard, and Alistair's like, he's over there, and there's a group of people. He walks up to the front, and there's nothing but a notice saying traitor, and then you realise, oh god, no. And you can even see it in Jon's eyes. It happens. He goes, right, I know what's about to happen. As I turn round, Alistair stabbed in the stomach, and he basically says, for the watch. And then it continues. 3 or 4 more people keep coming up, stabbed again, for the watch, for the watch, for the watch, straight through. And it was heartbreaking. It really was, because I love the Jon Snow character. He's like that older brother kind of character, and it just sucked knowing that he can't recover from this. Then he's down on his knees, and then Ollie appears. You think, oh god, they're not going to do this, are they? And Ollie just stands there, getting angrier in his face, and then Jon's like, Ollie, stabs him for the watch, and then he falls to the ground. They walk away, and Jon bleeds out. And he bleeds out and dies. And it sucked. It really fucking sucked, because I just don't know where they're going to go from here. There's a lot of rumours going around that he might come back in some capacity, whether it be a White Walker, or maybe Melisandre will have something to do with it, bringing him back, I don't know. But what I do know is that he won't be back in next season. And I'm gutted. I mean, it was a really kind of dramatic and sad way to end this season. Right, so that's what I thought of episode 10 of season 5 of Game of Thrones. Big shockers, lots of stuff happened, and it sucks that the season's now over and we've got to wait for at least another year before we get season 6. So Game of Thrones season 5 is over, and as I won't be reviewing any more Game of Thrones until the new season comes out, I've got a special treat for you. If you click the link right here, you'll be taken to a brand new video showing my friend Amy reacting to the death of Jon Snow. She's a massive Kit Harington fan, she's a massive fan of the character, and for her this is like a death in the family, and go and watch the video, it's really, really funny. Let me know what you thought, comment below, send me an email. Also find me on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Type in Nerdbytes and you'll find me anywhere. And of course, keep it nerdy.